to listen to another episode of the Supernatural Connection, where we discuss anything and everything dealing with the paranormal, whether it be aliens, alien abductions, witches and Wicca, energy workers such as Reiki, hypnosis, working with entities and deities, and much, much more, so that we may listen and talk about your experiences, so that we may inform others about what is going on in the world around them here on the Supernatural Connection. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Supernatural Connection. Hello, and I'd like to thank each of you for listening to another podcast. This one is going to be about witchcraft, working with entities, and I would like to tell you the many things I have run across while working with entities. My name is Gary, and I've been doing this for about 30 plus years. So, with that being said, the first question you'd have to ask yourself is, why would you want to work with witchcraft or energy work? Well, you could be a rebel. You could feel that you have a calling for this. It may sound cool. It could be something different. You just want to make a difference in your life. And there are many books out there describing people who have gone through this and the reasons they have gone to use witchcraft in their daily lives. And I would like to caution you that of all the videos, podcasts, books, and everything else out there, I would say about 50% of them are rubbish. They're just made up about people who have never ever had an experience, who have never ever worked with the paranormal or the supernatural or did any type of energy work. And they're basing whatever they're doing, but it is out there. So please do your research and make a difference in your life. So, with me, I felt I've always been pulled to the supernatural. And witchcraft, working with the spirits and entities and spell works, is just a small part, to me, of the supernatural paranormal world. Now, some basics for this is you have to have respect for yourself and for what you are doing. That is a big, big plus. Also, you will have to understand as you go through this, as you work with the spirit world, energy work, you will change. The way you think will change. Those that are around you will notice a change, and they may or may not be acceptable to that. Also, when you're working with witchcraft or any spiritual work, stay protected. And this could be a bubble, white light, a ring of white light, just whatever you feel is important to keep you safe. But do this at all times. Get in the habit of doing this all the time. And one important aspect, get your head out of your ass. Meaning, respect what you do. Respect the entities. Don't just go into it as a lark. As, oh, it's so cool, and I can tell people I work with witchcraft and things like that. That is the dumbest thing you can do. And also will get you in more trouble than anything else. The energies and the entities you will work with won't like it. May even take offense to it. So they may not even work with you, or they may let things happen in your life to let you know you screwed up and you shouldn't be messing with it, or you shouldn't be working with them because you're not taking it serious. And that is very, very important. Also, as you well know, there will be many, many naysayers in your life saying Oh, wow, you work with the devil, you're going to go to hell. You don't know what you're doing. All that is a bunch of crap. It don't work. It never has worked. And you're just being delusional. Well, they're out there. They're going to tell you that. It could be your significant other. It could be your friends. It could be just people you meet on the street. So, with that being said, you got to learn to have a thick skin about it, and or don't tell anybody about it. Because if you're working a regular job to pay the bills, they may take offense to it, and you may be overlooked for a promotion. That has happened to me. So please keep that in mind as you move forward. And also remember, you are more powerful than you think you are. Humans themselves are powerful beings. But it's all about the intent. You have to have the intent and use the intent in whatever you do. It does make a difference. Really and truly it does. Now, working with witchcraft, spirits, entities, it takes time. It takes effort. And it takes intent on your part to learn. It takes intent on your part to put your energy into what you want to accomplish and follow through with it. Reading books, watching videos, talking to other people in the field, getting to know what they have experienced. And it may be something you won't experience. And their opinions or their advice will go against what you want to do. But it's just advice. Take it, use it, but remember to keep yourself safe. And do your research. And remember, about 50% of the stuff out there is crap. And there's not anything you can do about that. Your experience is your experience in whatever you do. And your experience will be different from others. You are a powerful individual. And this may or may not be your call. And once you get into it, and you may decide, whoops, this is just not for me. It feels close, but it's not quite what I want to do. There's no harm, no foul in stopping it, getting out of it, and doing something else. That is perfectly all right, and that's something you should do if that is the case. My biggest challenge at this point in time is getting over my fear of working with the spirits and ETs. Yeah, you would think after 30 plus years of doing this, I would have got over that, but that is not the case. And I'm still working on that, getting better at working with them, not fearing them. And nothing's bad happened. Nothing out of that has spooked me or anything. It's just one of those things that I have to get over. That I am working on getting over so that I can do a better job, so that I can get my total power to help others, to help myself and to help others. That's what I want to do. Now, I am not part of any coven and do not plan to join one. That is just not who I am. You may decide to do that, you may not. People may say, well, you have to join a coven to be powerful, to do your spirit work or your spell work. That is not the case. You can join a coven to be with like-minded others, sure, but it's up to you. Don't be forced into it. You are your own person on this. Sometimes you have to work your own path. You know, what I use is each to their own. If it makes you happy, does no harm, then just have at it. Now, what I've been doing over the years, I use what I have available. I didn't spend a lot of money on this and that and everything else. All the books say you got to have an altar and buy all this other bunch of stuff. Nope. What I did when I started on this, I used a dining room table to do my spell work and my work with the entities and all that. Had no problems with it. My wife, on the other hand, was not very happy with it at times. But hey, she's a very good person. She loves me. And she said, that's what I want to do, let's go at it. But then she decided I needed to have a dedicated place for it. And she's right. So I went out, bought me a couple of end tables from Hobby Lobby, and that's where I put all of my stuff. The candles, the grinder, the incense. And I have a statue of Hecate, which is one of the spirits I work with. I have that for her. And for all the herbs and stuff I use for my spell work, I now have drawers to put that in and to keep them. But even though I do have these two tables, I still use a dining room table at times because I just need more room. But I am not going to go out and spend more money on stuff I really don't need. I'll use what I got. Now, when I was looking for the herbs to use in my spell work, and of course there's a whole bunch of them out there now, and a bunch of websites, I searched and searched and searched some more. And I found websites that I had a good feel for. I read about those websites to see if the people working there actually worked with the spirit world or did energy work. Some just buy from somebody else and sell on their website. And some actually do spell work and energy work at their place of business, infuse it into the herbs they buy, so you're getting a little more powerful herbs, I think. Or you can just go out and get your own. Pick them out of the forest, gardens, whichever you like, if you so choose. Nothing wrong with that. It's probably even better to do that. But let's be realistic. A lot of people don't go out in the forest, don't go out in the gardens to get this. Now, I mentioned I work with spirits, and I currently work with 4 spirits mainly. One is Hecate, of course. The other is prince-seere. Another one is grand-duchess-bune. And the last one is Uphir, U-P-H-I-R, I believe. And I work with each of those because they have certain characteristics. They have certain abilities. Well, I need those abilities to help me. And that's why I work with those spirits. Now, some of them are called demons. But, a lot of the so-called demons are actually just old gods from many, many moons ago. And, of course, they were just called demons to please everybody else and to get everybody to quit worshiping them or calling upon them. But I call them. I talk with them. And prince-seere, grand-duchess-bune, I made a pact with them. I wrote it all down. I looked at it, made sure it was to my benefit and to their benefit. And I did it with respect. And then we went through it. And we've been doing that for about a year now. And actually, it's been doing pretty good. I have told them all that with their help, I will talk about them, whether it be in a YouTube video, a podcast, or wherever. I would make mention of them and that I was working with them. So I am holding up my end of the bargain. Remember, do your research with whoever or whatever you want to work with. And some, just like humans, they have a different temperament about them. So you got to be careful about that and keep yourself safe. And one of the biggest things you must remember at all times working with entities is they are powerful, and you have to treat them with respect, because some of them just don't take kindly to that. So do what's right. Treat them the way you want to be treated. And of course, I cannot overemphasize this enough, to keep the bubble of light or ring of light around you so that you will be protected. The main reason I do work with them, like I stated, is for them to help me. I'll be honest, you dang skippy. I want them to help me to get better at what I do so that I can help others. Increase my abilities. Help me to increase my knowledge, by working with them, by working with other spirits, by finding the material I need to get better, to meet other people, for example, who can help me on my path, and to help me get over the fear of working with the spirit world, and to get more powerful. That is what I'm after. Also, I'm sure many of you who have looked into witchcraft or working with the spirit world and such, a lot of them will say, do no harm, or it will come back to you in threes. Well, if that's what they believe, then so be it to them. Me? I really don't believe that. If you're doing it with the right intent, the right purpose, I've always never had a problem with that. Now, I would use all of my abilities to keep myself and my family safe, of course. And if somebody was harming somebody and needing my help to correct the problem, and if I could help, I would. I read a book many, many years ago that was from a sailor who was in Hawaii, so it was a fairly long time ago. He told the story of the Hawaiian people would go to their medicine man, I'm not sure the proper term for them over there, to help them because the neighbor was doing this or that and just not being a good person. So the shaman or medicine man would listen, and if he thought it was a worthy adventure, he would send the spirits to correct the situation. And people over there were actually nicer to each other back then because they realized that if they were mean to somebody or hateful or did harm, they could go to the local shaman and that person could make their life miserable. So there's nothing wrong in that. And one thing I have noticed over the many years in working with the spirits, energies, whether it be with angels, plant spirits, water spirits, crystals, energies, so-called demons, whatever, the more I work with them, the more successful I become. So, but that being said, I have never allowed it to take over. I've always had a second job, a full-time job, to pay the bills. A lot of folks do that. But I realized that the fear, whatever that's causing that fear, has stopped me from moving forward. So now at this stage in my life, I am working to overcome that so that I can move forward in working with the spirit world and be successful. And of course, like everybody else, to get the monies to come in to pay all the many bills that we have. And that is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So with that being said, when you're working with the spirits, you got all your supplies handy, you've gotten your circle made, and you're in there. And if you're going to work with candles, you got your candles lit. If you're going to work with incense, you got your incense lit. And you're calling out to the whichever spirit that you're wanting to work with. I doubt very seriously that it's going to appear in front of you and say, "Hi, how you doing?" Yeah, I don't know of anybody that actually happens. I can tell you from my experience that I get a tingling sensation over my entire body, especially my head, when they're nearby or they want to talk or are moving forward. And or in front of me, there'll be like a shimmering of the energy. If you ever watched the heat off hot asphalt, how it shimmers, this is the same thing. But that's how it works for me. I don't know of anybody that just had it them materialize in front of them. But I'm sure it probably can and does happen. Now, I have seen dead people. I have seen ETs. I have seen the energy of working with the spirit world. They have their way of letting you know that they're around that will be to your level. So they don't want to scare you. Sometimes they just do it, and you just got to get over it. You just have to work through it. And that, for me, is what I am working on. So, but anyway, you're talking to them, and even if you don't see them, nothing happens, that's okay. You just go ahead and talk to them like you're talking to somebody sitting there beside you. It's a one-sided conversation, by the way. But you move on with that. And then when you get finished, thank them for listening. Thank them for coming. If you're using candles, blow out your candle, pinch it out, however you want to do that. And then tell them to have a good time. Close your circle. And then move on. And if you're working with another one, do it again till you get it all completed. And you will adapt this to you. Depends on, one, what kind of space you got. You just got a closet? Use a closet. You just got a dining room table? Use a dining room table. Use what you have. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money to get into this, to do this, and to do it right. Use what you have. But you have to believe in yourself. That's the biggest part of it. You have to believe in yourself. And is it going to happen overnight? No. You will have to work with it. Like anything else, like running, jogging, swimming, playing baseball, you have to work at it. You have to learn it. You have to get that muscle memory going with you. And of course, you need to take care of yourself. Keep yourself safe. That is the biggest takeaway. And of course, as you do this and you get better at it, you could be looking at something, thinking of something, all of a sudden your eyes will shift to something in front of you, off to the side. And you look, well, ain't nothing there. Well, you're seeing something. Don't convince yourself there was nothing there. Tell yourself there was something there. You perceived it and it's changed. And work on that. That's how they're getting your attention. It's the small things like that. It's always the small things that seem to just to trigger the best. But you got to be aware. You got to work on it. And that is the way it should be. You know, and the old saying is, be careful what you wish for or ask for. You just might get it. So it applies here because you are calling to spirits, whether it be angels, Jesus, so-called demons, or whatever. You're asking for their help. You're asking for whatever. It's got to be sensible. You know, it can't be like, hey, I need a set of wings so I can fly in the sky. Now, the odds of that happening pretty slim. Pretty slim. So, no matter what it says in the movies and the books, pretty slim. So, be realistic. Remember you're powerful. And not all of them are going to help you. Not all spirits and entities will help you. They just won't. For whatever reason, they just ain't going to do it. And of course, some are nicer than others. So, research, and research. That is the key. Well, thank you for listening to my podcast. And I do wish you the best. Take care.